está grabando, ¿no? Es que no veo. Sí, está grabando, creo. ¿Sí?
¿Estás
Sí,
seguro?
está grabando, vale. Okay. Well, first of all, apologize because of the delay. We have started 1 hour later because of some troubles. But I have to introduce that, for instance, yesterday when I was in the beach, there was a menace of a storm, a thunderstorm, and it happened. Later on, it happened that suddenly police and ambulances came at the beach, and there was a man on the sea, and was dead. It was dead. I don't know what happened. I asked her, and it happened. But I was in a hurry, so I had to left. Okay. Now I would like to introduce myself, but first I would like to introduce Josephine, that is a biologist, and that she taught in UCLA for a long time, and well, now she's a biologist, and I will introduce myself now that I am Carles. I am an architect. Well, I'm not degree in architecture, but because I was kicked off from the school. But well, I'm an architect, and this and it's not necessary that to be degreed to be in this profession or in these matters. Okay. And we are going. Can you start with the video, because we are going to speak about a special video, okay? And we are dealing it with in live in real time, and it's a video about simio, an orangutan, or a chimpanzee. She's going to be more exactly in the taxonomy, because she's a biologist, and say if it's a chimpanzee or whatever. Okay, you can switch on.
El profesor Tetsuro Matsuzawa del Instituto de Investigación de Primates de Japón para chimpancés.
Okay, this is an orangutan that is.
Su alumno más avanzado es un chimpancé de 7 años.
Is playing with a screen and
tras mostrarle los números del 1 al 9, los coloca en el orden correcto, señalándolos todos uno por uno.
It's in Spanish, but
cuando los ordena correctamente,
you can see it
un trozo de manzana o media pasa. Pero ahora los investigadores le pondrán las cosas más difíciles.
This is a more interesting performance, because the screen is not on when he repeats it. Okay? Okay.
Tiene que recordar dónde estaban esos números y pulsar los cuadros blancos en orden numérico.
You see it, no?
La posición de los números es completamente aleatoria.
And he repeats.
Supera la prueba una y otra vez, rápidamente,
you see, no?
y con una precisión del 100%.
It lasts 2 minutes. Okay, we can comment. We can stop. Okay. We can comment it here. What do you think? What has happened? You did about animals, and maybe not teaching animals, but
yeah, I'm teaching animals.
You teach animals?
Yeah, animals from 18 to 25 years old.
So the question is, how an animal knows how to repeat it? How does an animal know it?
Because of their brain connections.
Yeah, but no, not the brain connection. The brain connection.
Brain connections.
But for instance, an animal knows how to eat, how to have sex, how to perform, how to even use instrumentos,
tools.
But this is different. He repeats from a screen what he sees. You think it's
a very
natural?
fast.
You think it's natural?
No,
because it's in a laboratory. It has been trained. So it's okay, but it's prodigious, no?
Yeah, it's a prodigious.
It's prodigious because the speed as he sees the image and he repeats and memorizes, it's prodigious. Even in the video, you can see, because children later do it, but do it not so fast. Do it
slowlier.
Do it slowlier. And so the question is, what happens in the brain of a chimpanzee? What happens exactly? What happens?
Who knows? I mean, intelligence
but
is among neurons, connections.
Yes, neural connections. But,
I mean, synapses between the neurons.
But the real question is, if God created humans, well, the Bible says that humans were created as an image of God. Well, what happens if a chimpanzee is faster in brain than a human? What happens? Because is it possible? It's not impossible that God tried with other animals, because nature. You can think whatever about nature, but evolution. If you agree on that, I think so. What happens? It was a test, was a God test, creating chimpanzee, this kind of chimpanzee. But think about that. Maybe you can see it in the video. But I asked why a chimpanzee knows how to react, because it could be a trick. Okay, we don't know, but it could be a trick, un montaje, no? It could be a fake. But okay.
I don't think so. I don't think
maybe.
I don't know.
I spoke about that because I would like to deal about memories. Entering this video rack, this video that we can discuss about that. But we like to talk about memories because in primitive memories, humans and animals. Were in nature, no? And the process to get inside space and time was special, no? Because they enter in primitive signals. You know about that, no? Primitive signals, marks on the selva, on the forest, and so on, no? Later, we as humans developed language. We developed language, and later on, written language, no? But more later, we developed representation devices, images, first pictures, then photos, and then videos. But now I wanted to talk about that because I'm dealing about that, about virtual reality, okay? And but first of all, when I spoke about how and why, I will ask you a specific question later, but why God created humans? Why? You have you think about that anytime? Why God created humans? Why?
No, He created not just humans.
No, not just humans.
Nature,
Okay. But nature is a lesson for humans. Some people say, okay, humans are not the top of the evolution, but okay. Leave it apart. But why God created humans? Because it's not impossible that God created humans because something was happening in the universe that God needed humans. Because intelligence, in Bible you've heard, you've written, you've read that humans were created in image from God. No? But in image, what's God exactly? No, because I would like to enter in this moment. In the beginning of all, what's matter and what's energy? You are a biologist. Maybe you're not so commonly used to that.
Not a physician.
Not a physician, but okay, we can improvise. What's matter? What's matter and what's energy? Because when you deal about self, when you deal about editing or other stuff. You have to know that first phase, what's matter and what's energy. In some occasion, I thought that matter was energy in a low speed, no? You follow?
I understand.
Energy, no? But it was not exactly, no? Its matter is energy too. It's not only a slowest phase of energy, but it's energy too. And I like to introduce that because of learning. Because we are talking about memories, no? Because in actual times, learning is in learning machine. We are in a phase of history. You've deal about learning in animals, no?
Yeah.
So you can explain something about that. But learning, we are now in a phase of history that learning is in machines. They are with learning intelligence, artificial intelligence, and we can englobarlo environment in a place that in some part of the world they live in a primitive under sapiens phase. No, we could give examples about that, but it doesn't matter because there are some places, probably that the people live in under sapiens phase. No. In a phase of evolution of humanity, no? And we could talk about that, machine learning, is it applied to animals? Is it already applied, machine learning, to animals?
Well, I don't know if there's any videos on the web where there's a monkey with an iPad, for example.
An iPad.
Or an app.
Because they interact, no?
Yeah. I guess, I don't know. I mean, I haven't watched.
You haven't already thought about. Okay. I talk about that because in machine learning will be a further step in human history, in humankind, no? Because, for instance, we would have to ask Elon Musk. We have to Elon Musk not only in machine learning but in materials. It's a bit mess. I prepared a small index inside, but okay, we introduce that in this moment. We would have to talk about with Elon Musk about matter, because to go to space we need special materials, no, and the strongest materials, no. That was the reason I was talking about matter and how we can first imagine and thought about the strongest materials and how to perform. But okay, this is not biology, so okay. But in another sense, because we are humans, no, and why God? Maybe you can answer that. Why we are male and female? Why God created male and female? What answer has a biologist about that?
There's no, because there are animals, for example, that are hermaphrodites that have both sex.
Some of them.
Yeah, and so there's no need.
There's a need because
reproduction.
Because humans were an image of God, no? But in the beginning of the universe, of all, there were opposite forces, no? Because if there were not opposite forces, the universe wouldn't be created. They were opposite.
So men and women are opposite forces.
You understand?
That's good. Yeah. Now I understand marriage. Yeah. Now I understand marriage.
And on the other side, on the other way, in further step of evolution with machine learning, there are some applied to that, because we have the example of Elon Musk as a male. And of course, Ariana as a female, and they are the best, and the beauties. And it's not impossible that machines will have these both aspects, no, male and female, no. And okay, this no es una paranoia. And I would like to introduce this picture. I can show in the image. Okay, it's a drawing I draw. Because you're a specialist not on the picture.
I know, but it could be this way too. Don't you see the eyes and the mouth? You see?
Espera un momento.
So could be.
You're a specialist on editing genetics, no? You're a specialist on that?
Yes, more or less.
So I am going to get inside in your terrain, and how is possible to grow up as a human being or a nature being from a gene? How is it possible?
Not from a single gene.
Only
the DNA.
Yeah, both, but DNA. But how is it possible? How? Explain, because you're a specialist.
I mean, you have the DNA, you have genes, and the genes.
But what are the genes? What proteins?
No.
What are
genes is DNA.
DNA.
Yeah, it's DNA. It's a sequence. It's a sequence.
Yeah, but what matter is that? What matter? ¿Qué materia es?
Adenosine.
No.
Their bases.
Yeah, the fourth.
Four base pairs.
But in real, have you seen it in real?
It's crystallization. Yes. There are models that they have crystallized. But DNA.
In which how is it represented? This is
double hill.
No. This is the sun. Que me chichaba, que un calor que no vea. how is it represented? This is the essence, la diana. This is the diana. How is it represented? How?
I don't know.
You have wait, because you have the sound. Tenemos el sol aquí encima.
Sí.
Okay, how is it represented? How? Because you have seen, you deal about, you can edit, you can, okay?
Oh, with gels, with DNA gels, with agarose gels.
Yeah,
Then you see the bands.
No, this is not the question. How is it, how is it represented? How you edit? How you see it? Because you have a screen, you have colors, you can watch it, you can cut, you can put
exactly.
sequence, but it's plain. It's a plane, no? Es un plano eso, es un plano.
No, it's three-dimensional.
It's three-dimensional.
Yeah.
Normally you when you watch it, it's in a plane, no? Normally, no?
Normally, because you cut it with enzymes.
Normally, when you cut it, it's with enzymes.
I mean, if you know the sequence, you know where to target, where to cut.
But it's plane. From a plane, volume cannot emerge. You understand? How, another question, more important. How God created humans? How? No, how?
There was life.
No, yeah, but how?
Not
Because from the inside, from the ¿cómo se dicen los órganos? From the organs to the exterior.
No, life started with cells.
Come on.
Maybe
some people say that we come from amoeba.
Of course.
Maybe you come from amoeba. I don't come from an amoeba. Come on. No, okay. How God created humans? How designed? How were designed?
Well, you have the Bible.
Yeah,
this is a metaphor. This is a metaphoric.
3,000 years ago, we are an evolution of mind and thought.
Of course.
And how?
Life comes from bacteria.
Imagine, okay, we're in an improvisation. Okay, you have experience on that. How would you imagine that God created such an incredible structure as humans? Because we could talk a long about that, no? But imagine from the inside, because the organs are in a special dispositions, so to the exterior, because okay, we arrive to the brain. And for learning, virtual reality is going to develop the brain in another way, because when we had pictures, it was not movement, stop the image, but stop is not real. It doesn't exist. Stop in nature only exists movement, and okay, we had pictures, we had images, and later we had videos that were include movement, okay, and our imagination could be in that way in movement, no? But in virtual reality we have time, we have movement and time inside that space, no? And maybe that is the issue. That's the issue, because we are dealing it, and this is a further step in human evolution, you know. Not only because of the applications, not only because the applications we can do it, because on the learning experience. Because you are a teacher, and you know that when you teach people, normally you draw in a blackboard, no? You draw in a blackboard. So you are including memories, because these are memories, no? You are including memories in a plane. But I told you, in a plane structure. Is not volume, and memories are in volume, okay? And this is in relation, because virtual reality is in volume and time, you know? And so it will evolve, no? Maybe some people can continue in universities, in all the structures of learning, but artificial intelligence, machine learning are different. Are we going to leave knowledge to these machines, and we continue being in ancient kinds of learning? Are we going to do this? I told you because when I studied, I'm an architect. I told you I'm an architect, and I was kicked off from the school. You know, I was kicked off. Some teacher told me once, "You want to be a star. You want to be a great architect." And of course, I studied the biggest architects in history, in past and ancient times, everywhere. But they kicked me off. And do I have to thank them? Because if not, I would have maybe become a teacher and my life probably would switch off. Okay. I don't know if introducing again this image I show you that you watch upside down. But what do you think? Is it an animal? Is it paranoia? It's possible to become apart from a drawing? I mean, you're a genetist.
I don't know. Could be an animal. Yes, could be an animal.
Could be, you know. Could be.
Yeah, could be kind of.
It was a mixture. It was a mixture between a cat and a man.
Yeah.
No, it was not an Egyptian kind, but it was. Okay.
Okay, so you need more programs
Anything to add?
You need too many programs to deep into such interesting topics.
Yes.
But
what we are going to do with virtual reality with that? We are going to image special places where to develop our life as humans. Of course, in evolution of humankind. Are we going to do? Because maybe you have the answer of that.
I have no idea. Maybe not now, but in the future.
It's difficult to know.
In the future.
In the future, in a nearby future. No?
Yes.
Okay.
Nearby future.
This was a pleasure to have Josephine here, and maybe next time, as you say, we are in a better position to answer to this.
Exactly.
And okay, we'll leave it here.
Thank you.
I'm